Dark, suspenseful background music begins. Camera slowly pans over an empty, dimly lit parking lot, then moves toward a shadowy, abandoned building. Wind whistles through gaps in the walls. Distant sirens wail. Narrator, voiceover. Being a security guard might seem like a simple job. Walking the halls, checking doors, monitoring cameras, keeping things safe. Routine, predictable, safe. At least, that's what everyone thinks. But what if I told you, sometimes the job is anything but safe? Sometimes, what you're guarding isn't just a building or an office. It's a doorway to something else. Something that watches you as much as you watch it. Tonight, I'm going to share 3 true horror stories, real experiences from security guards who came face to face with the unexplainable, experiences that make you question what's real, what's imagined, and what lurks in the shadows when no one is looking. These are the stories of guards who thought they were in control, only to realize control was never theirs. Hallways that whispered, cameras that watched back, elevators that led to places that shouldn't exist. These are the things that make your skin crawl, make your heart race, make you never want to walk a night shift alone again. Imagine walking down a dark corridor, the hum of the lights your only company, and suddenly feeling eyes on you, even though no one else is there. Imagine checking your monitor, only to see a shadow where no person could be. Imagine stepping into an elevator and ending up somewhere you can't explain, somewhere terrifyingly wrong. These are not stories from movies. These are not tales from your imagination. These are real experiences of people whose job was supposed to be simple and who discovered that sometimes the things that go bump in the night are very, very real. If you're brave enough, stay with me till the end. Because once you hear these stories, you might never look at a security guard or an empty building the same way again. Story 1. The Shadow in the Hallway, approximately 2,000 words. Setting: old abandoned hospital, night shift. Scene opens with a slow pan across the exterior of the crumbling St. Mary's Hospital. Broken windows, rusted doors, shadows stretching in moonlight. Dripping water echoes. Narrator, voiceover. Mike had been a security guard for over 5 years. He had worked everything from parking lots to corporate offices, but nothing had prepared him for St. Mary's Hospital. The hospital had been abandoned for more than a decade. Rumors swirled about unexplained deaths, missing patients, and staff who left in terror. Some said that at night, the halls whispered, that shadows moved with a mind of their own. Mike didn't believe in any of it. He believed in cameras, in locks, in lights. He believed in facts, not ghosts, not shadows. The first hours of his shift were uneventful. The hallways stretched into darkness, illuminated only by the flickering overhead lights that buzzed and occasionally went out. The faint hum of security cameras filled the silence. The air was thick with dust, mold, and something metallic, almost like dried blood. Mike shrugged it off. Old buildings always smelled strange. At first, it was routine. Check doors, walk the halls, monitor cameras. Nothing unusual. Then, around 2 a.m., he noticed something odd. One hallway seemed darker than the rest. Darker, yes, but not because of a broken light. The shadows seemed alive. They stretched unnaturally, moving slightly as if breathing. Mike slowed his pace, listening. Then he saw it. A shadow, tall, humanoid, featureless. It moved in a way that defied natural motion, gliding silently across the hall. It was as if the light itself recoiled from it. Mike froze, heart hammering. Rationally, he thought, a trick of the light, fatigue. But deep down, he knew this was something else. "Hello?" he called. "Is someone there?" Silence. Only the hum of electricity. The shadow moved, smoothly, slowly, deliberately. It stopped, as if staring at him, though it had no eyes, no face, no features. Mike's radio crackled with static, no voice. The air felt heavier, denser. The shadow pressed down on him, unseen but palpable. He took a step back. The floorboards creaked. The shadow remained, always just behind him, keeping pace. Not chasing, but following, watching. Mike's flashlight flickered and died. Darkness swallowed him. Panic surged. He fumbled with the radio. Static. A faint sound behind him. Breathing. Not human. Hollow. He ran blindly, heart pounding, legs burning. Finally, he reached the exit. Moonlight. Relief. He glanced back. Nothing. Empty hallway. No shadow. No trace. Mike quit the job the next day. He never spoke of that night. Until now. Sometimes the shadows don't just follow you. Sometimes they wait and they remember. Pause. Creepy sound. Faint footsteps fading. Story 2. The security camera that watched back. 2,000 words. Setting. Corporate office building. Late night. Scene opens in a modern office building, dimly lit. The camera pans over cubicles, rows of computers, and the security room filled with monitors. Narrator, voiceover. Next, we have Sarah, a security guard at a corporate office. Her job was routine: monitor cameras, check doors, log incidents. Simple, predictable. Until one night, it wasn't. Around midnight, she noticed something odd on one of the monitors. A figure, like a man, was walking down a hallway that had been empty all day. Confused, she walked to the hallway. Nothing. Empty. She returned to the monitors. The figure was now in the lobby, but she hadn't seen anyone enter. Heart racing, she called her supervisor. He reviewed the footage, eyes widening. Then he said, "Sarah, that camera was broken. It hasn't worked for months." Sarah froze. She replayed the footage frame by frame. Every movement of the figure, every step, perfectly recorded, on a camera that wasn't working. The building felt colder, quieter, as if it were alive. The hum of the lights sounded like whispers. Shadows moved unnaturally. Sarah could feel eyes on her, yet no one was there. Every night she checked cameras. Sometimes she saw flashes of movement in the corner of monitors. Sometimes she heard faint whispers over the radio. She was moved to another building the next week, but she never forgot that feeling, being watched by something that wasn't supposed to exist. Sarah still checks her cameras today. She says sometimes she swears she sees the figure, even in the daylight, lurking behind reflections, waiting. Pause. Eerie whispering sound. Story 3. The elevator that wasn't there. Approximately 2,000 words. Setting. High-rise office building. Midnight. Scene opens in a downtown high-rise. Empty floors, lights flickering, elevators humming softly. Narrator, voiceover. Finally, we have John, a security guard at a downtown high-rise. Late one night, while making his rounds, he noticed an elevator door slightly open on a floor that didn't exist. Curious, he pressed the call button. The doors opened to pitch-black interior. Against his better judgment, he stepped inside. The elevator descended. Numbers on the display didn't match any floor he knew. Then the doors opened. A floor of old furniture, broken lights, walls scratched with names of employees who had mysteriously disappeared. John ran. Doors closed. As the elevator ascended, he could swear a shadowy figure watched him through the glass. He never returned. He still doesn't know what floor the elevator went to. He says some things are better left unknown. Long pause, heartbeat sound. Closing, outrow, 600 words. Narrator, voiceover. 3 security guards. 3 terrifying experiences. 3 nights they'll never forget. So next time you see a security guard walking alone at night, remember, sometimes the monsters aren't outside. Sometimes they're already inside, and maybe they're watching you right now.